I just wanted to share a quick word with you. I was thinking this morning about the children of Israel that had come out of Egypt and how Hebrews chapter 3 tells us that they were not able to enter in to the promised land because of unbelief. You know, they just could not believe about themselves what God believed about them. And you know, in Joshua chapter 5, the Lord instructed Joshua to circumcise all of those that had not been circumcised in the wilderness. And you know, all of the people that came out of Egypt died in the wilderness. So it was the next generation that was able to go in. And the reason that they couldn't go in was because their mind was so entrenched with a slave mentality from being under the evil taskmasters of Pharaoh. And as I was meditating on this morning, I thought of something. And you know, religion has just replaced the Pharaoh with God. Because religion teaches that God is a taskmaster. And you better cross every T and dot every I, otherwise you just ain't gonna make it. And you know something? With that kind of teaching, with that kind of mentality, you can never enter into rest. It is just so incredible that the gospel is so absolutely diametrically opposed to mainstream Christianity. And so Jesus came to reveal the goodness of the Father. And once you see what God the Father believes about you, you can rest. You can never enter into rest if you believe that God is a taskmaster. You know, in Hebrews chapter 4, it says, "Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it." You know, we've received a promise, just like they did, of entering to rest. And you know, it goes on to say that in verse 10, "For he that has entered into his rest has ceased from his own works, as God did from his." You know, you cannot enter into rest if you believe that you've got to do something to be approved by God. It's just, you know what? You can just relax when you know that Jesus has done it all and that we are complete in him. Your mind and your heart can go to rest. You know, it's just like Abram. You know, Abram couldn't have any kids, and God gave him a promise that he was going to have a kid, and he went about it, and you know, he slept with his wife's bondmaid and had Ishmael, and God said, "No, this is not the promise." And God saw something about Abraham. God saw that Abraham was going to be the father of many nations, and he changed his name from Abram to Abraham, which meant father of many nations. And you know, God changed his name, and Abram saw what God believed about him. And when he introduced himself from henceforth, he would say his name was Abraham. And every time he was saying that, he was declaring that I'm the father of many nations. And so when Abram believed what God believed about him, then he brought forth the fruit of that promise. And that is a perfect picture of Christianity. It's not about me trying to produce fruit in my life. It's about me being persuaded of what God is persuaded of about me. And when I can see what God sees about me, it's effortless. It's just the life comes forth. Amen. Because remember in Proverbs, what is it, at 23:7, I think, 21, I think it's 23:7, says, for as a man thinketh or believeth in his heart, so is he. So our actions are a result of what we believe. If I believe I'm no good, then what kind of fruit am I going to bring forth? But if I believe that I am the very righteousness of God, then the fruit of righteousness is going to pour forth out of my life. I am just so happy. I'm just so thrilled. God is so good. God is my dad. Amen. And he loves me just like he loved Jesus. And he loves you just like he loved Jesus. But unless we believe that, it doesn't comfort our hearts and make us feel warm and fuzzy. I'm just so thankful. You know, I'm going to be 65 years old this summer. And it's like, oh my goodness. It took so long for me to find out the truth. But you know what? Just like the wine of the marriage feast of Cana, he saved the best till last. Well, God wasn't holding out on me until my latter golden years. It's just I was thick as a brick and couldn't get it. But God is so patient. Thank God he never gives up on us. Amen? He just keeps speaking those wonderful words of truth. Amen. Well, God bless you, and I hope you have a totally awesome day.